Going on, guys? It's Will Homer here. Welcome back to the channel. Right now, we're going to be taking a look at GME on the daily time frame, just trying to get an idea of when the next time this thing is actually going to make a move. And I've been in some calls on this thing here for the last couple of days at the strike, the $30 strike for the 28th of April. And the reason I got into those is that the IV on those things was very, very low. And I know that we are in a position where GME likes to actually take off from. Um, I was looking at a certain location for support, and it looks like that support is now starting to break down for another test of an EMA. So I want to go over the EMAs, the EMA analysis, we'll call it here, for this particular time frame on the daily, and start to move in a little closer to take a look to see where this thing can actually go in the next couple of days or so before starting to make its next move up. So I'm going to pull up the charts here real quick. So we got GME generally moves off of the double bottom setup before it actually starts to take its next move upward. I still have my sights set here for the $30, roughly around $30 as the high point, $30 to $34 as the high point before it comes back down on the upcoming move. You can see here, we'll take a look at the last few days, and you can see that that huge volume candle came in here right after the earnings report, the positive EPS, and profitable. Shot this thing up about 50% in the after hours after that the information was given to us. And from there, it's been on a barreling back down all the way down to where it currently is, back to about the $22.28 at the end of close today. It's been finding support there, pretty much up and down, bumping its head on several different occasions, coming back down, runs to 23 bucks, coming back down. And it's now taking a look here at the EMAs. Just to give you a rundown of the EMAs I use. I've announced it in several other videos, but this is a recap. We use the 921 EMA. I have it marked as blue, which is the 9 EMA on the daily chart. You'll see it here, light blue color. Then you got the 13 EMA is the purple, yellow the 21, 48 EMA is the green, and then you got the 50 SMA. All right, so you can see we got the crosses already taking place way back when, actually right when the information came out. This is using regular trading hours. You can see that huge gap up here up to about the $27 mark before coming back down. On the top end here, you'll see I have a couple other different EMAs, which this is the 800 EMA on the daily chart, that light gray line, followed by the 200 EMA, the red line. The lighter red line is the 200 moving average, simple moving average. And then I also include a smooth moving average, which is basically a compilation of all the averages over several time frames. This sits here roughly about the 26.99 mark. And you'll see that in the past it's been respected on several occasions in other runs, either finding support on it or using it as a reason to be brought back down, as you saw back in October on that last run to about $34. So you see it crossed that area and pretty much came barreling back down. It's almost a signal to short at that particular point. So taking a look at it here, just an EMA analysis and things like that, SMA analysis. I do see us coming back down. Looking at the volume, volume has actually been very low for the last few days ever since that drop off. Low volume push downs, pops and things like that, pops and fades. And now we're sitting roughly at about the 13 EMA, which is roughly at about $22, obviously $22.30, close to it. I do expect this to come back down. We'll start to see some different movement. I imagine some volume and things like that, which should start pouring into the stock in the next couple of days or so. So I'm expecting some sort of a move, but first it's going to come back down before moving forward. Again, I expect to be somewhere around the 21.75 mark. I have a purple line marked here, maybe even 21.70 before it bounces and starts to make its way back up, being as long as volume starts to support the move. I don't fully foresee a full gap fill happening at all on this on the move down. It's obvious that GME is in a very, very good place fundamentally. So the short thesis or whatever they have at this particular point is really kind of flying out the window. So for them to continue to short it the way they've been shorting it, I think they're really playing with fire in this case. And obviously, with that huge move we had before, it's only a matter of time before this thing shoots through again. and carries other meme stocks with it, being that this one is the boss dog of the basket. So we're gonna have a little bit. Obviously, we're gonna have a little bit of issues trying to get back above the 24 mark. But if we do find support and breakthrough, obviously the next areas to start to be concerned with are going to be the 24, 25, and 2750 mark. The last time we've actually gotten 2750 and found support, you can see that smooth moving average. I'm moving a little closer here for us to take a look at it. Smooth moving average, which is again that thicker white line that I use here, which is a compilation of several time frames. You can see it respecting that move or that area several times before breaking below, coming back, finding support, and pushing again. It's happened multiple times on the stock. And I expect it to happen again once we start to break that area 2750. If we can get above it with some volume and hold above it, you'll start to see GME start to climb back up into the 40s, 50s, and eventually even the higher end, possibly even meeting all-time highs once the shorts start to remove themselves from their positions. I don't see it happening right away, but in time, this thing is most likely going to move, and it's going to take a lot of other meme stocks with it. Hopefully, AMC. All right, so we'll take a look. We'll keep a look at an eyes out on that. Let's move into some closer time frames as well, just to get a better idea of what it looks like in the short term. You can see we got this move. Let's go ahead and blow this up. That's the earnings information that came in. You can see that we've come all the way back down after earnings. Been playing almost an accumulation schematic, as you can see. We got our high preliminary supply. Came back down. Selling climax. We had an automatic reaction. It starts to come back down. It was spring test. So it's a possibility we can move from here. Is it possible? Definitely. But we're going to have to see over the next couple of days. We can see that if we don't, well, actually taking a closer look, we did get a cross down signal. Now, I have it marked here. My pluses are a indication of a cross. This blue plus is most likely a cross of the 50 and 200. Moving averages, simple moving averages. And you see we got this rounding out H pattern, which is going to look like it's going to bring us down to the smooth moving average. Just like I mentioned earlier, for the completion of the spring test. This is marked here at roughly about 2209. I'm going to have my support level here down to 2169. If that breaks and doesn't hold, that would be 800 EMA, which is at 2137. Now, that would be a very deep retracement, but that also most likely set us up for a double bottom from here. And as I mentioned before, double bottoms on GME are usually pretty explosive to the upside after they occur. So on every run we've had in the past, there's been a double bottom before it has moved up. And if that would also occur, I'd probably, go full port on on some calls for 30s. And I most likely probably roll those out just to see if save on some of the premium being vanquished there. So we're going to keep a look out on GME for the next couple of days, see how this thing moves. If it does break below, once again, if it breaks below the 2210 level, I'd be looking somewhere about 2170, which is the main area I'm expecting. And then from there, if that breaks, we'll look for the double bottom setup roughly at about 2137 before moving back up. Taking a look a little bit further here, we got the 3-day chart pulled up on this on GME, and you can take a look here and just to get an idea where we're actually placed on these EMAs and SMAs. You can see the 800 EMA on the 3-day chart is exactly where we double bottomed. All right, you got the double bottom that took place. We have earnings, shot it back up to the top of this wedge. Now we've come back and retracing, touching the bottom of the wedge just about. Again, a little bit more to fall, somewhere around that 2160 mark, 2170 mark at the bottom end of the wedge, which will be a retest of the smooth moving average. And I expect a bounce from there to eventually break through, test somewhere around the 200 moving average, 200 moving average here, and then from there we'd start to be able to push up to our target one, somewhere around the 36 mark would be the top. I could see beforehand we most likely bump our heads at the 200 moving average here, which would probably at that time would be somewhere around the $30 to $33 mark. So this is actually what I'm expecting in the next couple of weeks. I may most likely, depending on how things move in the next few days, I most likely will be moving my calls from the end of April to most likely the end of May, just to give us a little bit more time. Time decay is going to start kicking up pretty quickly here because we only have a few more days until the end of the month. And I want to make sure we have more than enough time to catch this run because the run is coming, and we all want to be in position to actually take advantage of this thing. The schematic is there, the volume is there. Obviously, low volume has been in the trading range ever since the earnings report. We know that the fundamentals have been improved on this particular company, so opportunity is still there. It looks way better than a lot of the other charts that I've seen. It's just obviously that the shorts are in a really bad position, so they want to keep this thing as suppressed as possible because they know what it did last time. So we know it can happen again, and we're going to be in position to catch it on this run. Another look here at GME on the 5-day time frame, and you can see obviously the EMAs, SMAs, all starting to curl upward and heading towards the downtrend that's been here for the last several weeks, since the run up of up to 400. The original 400 right now is marking as a 120 price point. So everything's curling up in the right direction. Things are going really well for the stock. We know its potential. We know what it's capable of doing, and we just want to be on the right side of the trade in this case. So keep a lookout for GME. Again, we got calls right now for 428. Most likely we'll probably roll those into the end of May just because again, I do see us coming back down to about the 2170, 2160 mark, possibly even a double bottom at the 200 EMA before potentially pushing up right into the OPEX dates this month. If not, definitely going to be, well, in my opinion, definitely going to be somewhere in the month of May before it starts to really take off. So keep a lookout for GME. If you like the video, if you like the content we provide, please go ahead and like, subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll get back to you as soon as possible on those. So thanks again for joining me today, and look forward to see you guys on the next video.